Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I've got somebody on here that I was really intrigued by, and I've already said this to him. Before I introduce him, again, you know how the podcast is. There's no glorification in any way. There's no questions that are pre-planned, so it will be I only have one question. So I am going to introduce you to Sonny.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
So just to be clear, you understand that I've got one question for you, and then we work off the cuff.
Definitely.
And then at the end, you have a question for me.
No problem.
Which you can ask any question you want. There's no off topics. So my first question, and people watch will know what it is, but in some walks of life, it can come across quite disrespectful. Yeah. Depending on how it's said.
Of course.
However, basically, who are you?
So, me in a nutshell, how I look at myself now is, and I'm proud of this now, I'm a recovering addict.
Okay.
So, why I say I'm proud of it now, it was something that I always looked at as a dirty word. But now I wear it like, almost like a badge, because I understand it now. I understand what it is. I understand that it can be different walks of life. I understand it's not just what we saw in the films and stuff. You know, when you saw somebody unkept, dirty and stuff like that, it's not.
And you're a proud father as well.
I'm a proud father.
And husband.
Husband, well, nearly. Nearly. That's it. Yeah, we were supposed to get married at lockdown. So got everything planned. Lockdown happened. She lost her dad, unfortunately, just before. So we kind of like just the signs weren't, you know what I mean? So, but
timing.
It definitely in the future, because that's another thing as well. You know, with life of drinking and whatever, you always put stuff off. You know what I mean?
Okay. So that being said, let's take it back.
Yeah.
So let's talk childhood. You're Sikh.
Yeah, I'm Sikh. Yeah.
So you're Sikh. So let's go back to. So we're not going to go birth because you won't remember earliest childhood memories, and then leading up to end of primary school.
Right. So
like the family dynamics kind of thing.
Definitely. So in my family, you know what, we were quite a big family, to be fair. So a lot of aunties, a lot of uncles, a lot of cousins, and I don't like to generalize, but like more, I'd say a culture thing. We got a lot of get-togethers, but it was wholesome, you know, like I saw different sides of it. So it was like people had come round to my house, and it was our responsibility as the young lot to bring stuff in, take stuff away, sit down with them. And it was like listening to like old stories. So you're a kid, you're 8, 9, 10 years old, and you come in, you might get £1, £2, you know what I mean, and whatever. And just listening to stories, but there was a lot of drink. Everyone was drinking. So
quite rampant within that community, within the Sikh community.
Definitely. Like I say, it came to a point where every situation was celebrated. So new car, let's have a drink. Baby, let's have a drink. Wedding, it don't matter. I mean, nowadays it was just getting worse. You know, people just celebrate for no reason.
And then you have, I don't know what to call it, but you have the day where everyone's wearing orange.
Yeah, so we have Vaisakhi.
That's right.
So Vaisakhi, which is now, I'm going to touch on this in 2 points, because how I look at it now and how we looked at it then is two different things. So back then it was obviously, you know, you'd go to the temple, then we'd go for our walk. So ours was Chapeltown Road.
Yeah.
Chapeltown Road. So we do a lot of, there's a lot of giving. In the Sikh religion, it's a lot of giving. So, you know, we'd set up stalls and stuff like that and do our walks and stuff. But as you got older, it wasn't about that. It was about meeting up afterwards and having a few drinks. But yeah, going back to like the family stuff, it was like, it was always there, and it become like the norm.
Yeah. So it's part of the norm, but this is as you're growing up. So through primary school, are you constantly at school? Are you behaved in school? Are you?
Yeah. I was living with my nana.
Okay.
I was living with my nana. When I say we're living with my nana, my mum and dad were both working. So my nana brought us all up. Yeah. So there were me, auntie's kids. We all kind of lived at my nana's, and so in the morning, got up, and whatever. So we'd either get dropped off there first thing in the morning, or we'd stay over the night before. She'd take us to school. It was a walk away. So she always made sure. One thing about my nana, it was strange because we were laughing about this. She didn't have much, she didn't have loads. You know, we'd eat from one pan, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
She'd kind of, so we would just imagine 8, 9 years old, sat on the floor like this, on the rug, and she'd be sat on like a stool, and we'd eat out of she'd make like a lentil dal curry.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd eat that, and in the morning she might have scrambled eggs, or like, you know, scrambled eggs with hot milk and stuff. But she always made sure we ate, and then we were at school. So we never missed school. That's one thing I will say, especially with primary school.
So primary school, fine, no
Perfect.
issues.
No issues at all.
So is it still the same dynamics once you get into secondary school?
So
obviously you start getting that little bit older, a little bit more responsibility comes in then, doesn't it?
I moved from Bradford to Leeds.
Right.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So my primary school was in Bradford.
Okay.
A place called Leeds Road. Yeah. And there was a primary school called St. Peter's. So we went there. Like I said, stone throws away from where we lived. And then I was actually intended to go to middle school in Bradford.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, so you're like my era where you went primary, middle, high.
No, I missed that.
Okay.
So sorry, I went from primary school straight into secondary. You know, when you combine the six. So I moved from Bradford straight to Leeds, and it went to in 1992. 1992 it was.
Yeah, so I think it might have changing then, wasn't it? I think it was 92, 93. It was just changing.
It used to be something like year 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah. So how it used to go is you went primary school, then you went middle school, which was 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Yeah.
Then you went to high school, which was 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then 6th form.
Right. Okay.
And then they introduced it, and then it changed to you went in, and when you went from primary straight, so it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Then it goes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That's what ours was then.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10. Because so I went to Alton Grange.
Oh,
we went to Alton Grange. Yeah, 1992. Good school, loved it.
So you went to the old one.
We went to the old one where it was different, very different.
You had the swimming pool still.
Swimming pool, yeah. That's all we were talking about. All
but not just for the record. We never got to use the swimming pool. It had a swimming pool there, but yeah, we didn't get to use it.
It wasn't. You know what? As well, it wasn't the most.
No, it wasn't the pretty. Have you seen it now?
No,
it's amazing now.
So I actually ran into some young lads who go to that school. Left that school because I went to do an AET course.
Okay.
And he were on there, this lad, and he were like, we were talking about Alton Grange and how I was looking at. I thought, wow, we're two different.
Yeah, because if you remember when we were there, it was billets. You had the science. The science was in like not off campus, but it was in like a little
cabins.
Like cabins, yeah.
That's right. So you had like an A block.
Yes,
D block.
Yeah.
And E block. I remember that. So yeah, it's completely different now. I think they got it's all computerized, the login and stuff like that.
Oh, listen, it looks amazing from there. Still got the double entrances.
You know what? I'd love to go in
because you used to have top shops, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
So we'd always be at the bottom where the fish and chip shop.
That's right. So that's another conversation what I had with someone at the same lad.
So how was secondary?
Secondary school started off good.
Okay.
Started off very positive. Didn't live far again from Alton Grange. Just lived around the corner. So walking to school and stuff. Didn't really know nobody though. Didn't know.
Because you're from Bradford,
that's right.
Yeah.
Didn't know anybody. But the interesting thing about the Sikh community was our granddads knew each other and our dads knew each other.
Yeah.
So when they start hearing your surname and stuff, and they'll say, oh, you start speaking to a few lads and stuff. And I'd say year 6, year 7, very wholesome, just went to school, did what I was supposed to do. Then Alton Grange was very multicultural. There were lads from all different areas.
Did they change the uniform while you were there, or was it still non-uniform?
It was, I'd say uniform, but it wasn't very strict.
Yeah.
It was either a white t-shirt and like jeans. We wore jeans.
Yeah.
It wasn't as strict as what it is now. And definitely it was all casual. Because because you could wear what you want. Like now you have to wear shoes. We could wear what we want. But yeah, it was different. So that's what I think the casualness about it, gave us that, because I'm glad you brought that up, because as I were getting older, so my dad was single at that time.
Okay.
And he was a good guy. You know, I mean, I got nothing bad to say about my dad, but he was always working. So his was, he'd buy you what you wanted.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and he'd always have whatever you needed and whatever.
It's his way of compensating for not being there.
Exactly. But, he was grafting day in, day out. You'd see him, odd little times and stuff, which you kind of respected at that time because, later on down the thing, you'll see where I was compared to where he was. Two different things. And so it went well, so we had what we want and stuff. And I think the casualness of it started to become more like it wasn't school. It was more like going out to hang out.
Is that where it changes for you then?
Yeah, so I started, where I lived in Stainburns, that area there.
Yeah, so you are close.
Yeah, very close. And we started, there were the lads that were living on my street, lads from Brackenwood. So we all started to get together and started to kind of like, I think my first vice was smoking, just cigarettes. Started smoking an odd little cigarette. My dad smoked as well, and we used to pinch a few little things. I've got a story about that. And so it started off smoking cigarettes, and then there were a few lads that were older than us, and I think I'm pretty sure they went Cardinal,
okay,
which is a bit further down.
Yeah,
started hanging around with them. Then it's like cider, just like cheap bottles of cider behind the shops.
But that wouldn't have been anything too unusual for you because it's something that you've witnessed from growing up as a kid.
Exactly, yeah. So it was like, if you imagine you're seeing people that you love, respect, and look up to, they're out, they're having a laugh, they're having this, this drink. They're not thingy. I'm not going to say it was all wholesome. I saw a bit of DV, a bit of domestic violence, not in my own house, thank God, but with my family. I've seen that. But
you're also seeing hard-working men as well.
Seeing hard-working men. My granddad, so both my granddads, my mum's and my dad's dad, both were manual labourers. One was actually, in their lifetime, they were both builders.
Okay.
I've skipped over a little bit. I'm glad you brought that up. So when my granddad, my mum's granddad, when he used to come home from work, he used to park his van up, come in, he'd go have a shower, and he'd plump me on his knee. Okay. And then he'd open a can of bitter, and we could have the froth.
Okay. Right, yeah.
We would have the froth. It was one day when he stopped doing it because he put the thing down, he'd gone to the kitchen, I picked it up and took a swig. And I started to giggle and, it just overwhelming. And it was very, very like, it just, all control went, I was crying. And I remember my nana, because I've got ADHD, and apparently with ADHD, you can pick up certain memories. And I can remember things kind of like now from back in the day, like it happened yesterday. So I can remember my nana actually saying to me, "You're going to start crying." And I did, just started crying. So that stopped. It was like, but he was you saw a guy who went to work 6 o'clock in the morning, grafted, came home, had 2 or 3 beers, whatever, very sensible, had something to eat, straight to bed. Because back then, they were in bed for 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, straight back to work. So anyway, having a drink with the lads, well, not wrong with it. My granddad did it, my dad did it.
Yeah.
They never.
Would you say that's your first point where you can identify learned behaviour?
Yes, definitely. Because I would say I wanted that feeling, what I saw.
The normality
of it. Yeah. I wanted that kind of like, so if I in my head, I was like, we had kids, we'd have a laugh or whatever. But I wanted that, what they were having. I wanted that deep chuckle and whatever. And, the stories and that came with it. We used to sit there for hours just, listening to like my uncles and stuff like that. And you wanted that. So we tried to recreate that. Started off with the cider. Then,
and this is all during you're at school. You're still in high school. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say let's say year 8 and 9.
Okay, so you're around 13, 14.
That's right. Then I got introduced to cannabis.
Okay.
So I got introduced to cannabis, and I met a couple of lads from Well, so I knew him from Chapeltown, and when we all started kind of like just getting together and like again.
Because if you remember, with what was weird, which people won't understand, with Allerton Grange, when you was at the bottom shops at Allerton Grange, the buses that went left took you to Chapeltown. The buses that went right took you to Hare Hills.
That's correct. So we had, like I said, in our school, Chapeltown, Hare Hills, Roundy, Gledow. It was we were all kind of like mingled in together, and then started to smoke cannabis and stuff. But it never agreed with me. I won't lie to you, I didn't enjoy it. Too paranoid, and I used to be sick all the time. You know what I mean?
So did you leave school with GCSEs?
No.
Okay.
I did my GCSEs, turned up for a couple of them. Can you remember Chapel Alton Park?
Yes.
Gledow Valley Road?
Yeah, well, it's still, and you have the steps.
That's right.
You can go up the back stairs that take you to the little park, and then you've got the
at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
But so from that park, you can see Gledow Valley Road clearly.
Yeah.
My dad used to drive home and see me at Chapel Alton Park when I was supposed to be doing my GCSEs.
Wow.
I'd go home. He'd say, how do the exams go? All right, how's it going? Knowing that I was there, he could see you clear as day. He used to park up at the bottom and watch me.
Because the funny thing about it is, if you're looking down from the park, you see the side road that leads you to Allerton Grange.
That's right, and it was like then you didn't care. You didn't think that far forward. But yeah, so he used to do that. Go home. What you lying for? Do you know what I mean? That's it. He'd get into it. I walked away with. Do you remember U's? Yeah, U's. I got a couple of U's, G's. I think I got a couple. I can't even remember. So now I'm working actually in education because I've redone a few things, and I wanted to kind of go back and get my records so that I can. Yeah.
There's a way how you do it. You've got to apply, because the body that did it then is no longer existing.
So this is exactly what I've been told. The kids nowadays are fine. They can go online. You can go back a certain time. Yeah. With mine, we're all paper. With
ours was all paper records. It's hard because I wanted to do it because of some of the work that we did.
Yeah.
Or we do. Sorry. Yeah. It was one way that I wanted to go back and get that, as well as like a proof kind of thing.
So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to try. Because
there's a body that you can write to.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they're called.
I'm going to look into that, because it's something I'd like to know, because it's very hazy. I can't picture it. So yeah, got home, and obviously he said that. Then left. I remember on the last day of high school, when you get your, and then you say, he didn't even let me say goodbye to anybody. I'm picking you up from after school and we're going on holiday. He took us to India for 4 weeks. Right, and I was like, "Come on, I want to meet." We're all supposed to go to the park. We're all supposed to. Everyone's chipping in a can here, a can there. We're supposed to have a good time, but no. Took us to India, so went to India for 4 weeks. It were all right. Started drinking out there, to be fair, because it were cheap. My dad were obviously doing what he was doing, and we were hanging around with a few people from the village, and it was like. You'd have when you go to a restaurant here, you get your kingfishers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In India, you get kingfishers, but you also get our equivalent to Kestrel Super or Special Brew.
Okay, so you get the stronger line.
Yeah, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was called Turbo 10,000. So that's the name of it.
Okay.
So we're drinking them and stuff like that. So I got a little bit of a taste there. Came back, put me straight into work. He says, "You're not going to college." He goes, "You're getting straight into work." So I actually worked in a clothing warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, 60. So yeah, did that for like 2 or 3 years. Got to 18. That's when your credit cards and so. I didn't know what a credit card was, because my dad never thingy.
Yeah.
It was a lass at work. Just chatting to her, and she went, "Oh, how old are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm 18." She went, "Oh, have you got your credit card and stuff like that?" I said, "No." This was the time where you could go to the bank and walk in and speak to someone.
Yeah.
So I went in, said, "Can I speak to the manager?" I went inside. I said, "Oh, is it, I want to inquire if I can have a credit card." "Oh, yeah, no problem." Gave me a credit card. I think it was 500 quid. But also he says, "While you're here, would you like an overdraft?" I said, "What's an overdraft?" "So you can now, if you spend your wage, we will give you 500 quid extra. Bring it on." Yeah, do it. So I'm a grand now above my wage. Yeah, started doing that. So I started going to the pubs now. And I remember my first purchase with that credit card was a Paul and Shark jumper and a pair of Rockports. 2 items.
You are going back now, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going back.
Yeah.
And it was Life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was Life.
Yeah.
And I remember then I went to the pub. That was then I was, you know, a bit older, you know, and I was seeing someone at the time and stuff like that. Me and her, we used to go to the pub and started to build a community in our people. And yeah, just going to the pub, you know, every spare minute, you know, we could go to the pub. And back then I'm talking £2 a double, you know, and it was like £1.25 a pint or something like that. So yeah, but again, wholesome, no, nothing extravagant. And then kind of just I graduated, I would say, to like drinking how I saw my dad's drinking then.
See, one of the things when I was never been a big drinker. I played rugby, so as you can imagine, you know, there's a lot of drink after a rugby game.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was younger and I was going about with a couple of lads, and I remember you used to walk in a pub, they'd have a pint, and you go with them and you drink it, and they'd have a sip, and they'd go, nah, that's a shit pint, that. Put the pint down, and would walk out, and I used to look at it and think, you weirdos, you know, it's just a pint. But they were, like, they knew a good pint, like pipes are dirty and all that. And then I remember doing that myself and going in the pub, having a drink, and then going, nah, that's rubbish, and walking out like...
Without a doubt, you become a connoisseur.
Yeah. It's so weird of how quick it or somebody will bang the top of your glass seat, no, that's flat, that.
Oh, that's that used to happen all the time. And, and when that first happened to me, it was an older guy, because I used to get a lot of Irish, a lot of, you know, and they were good people, man. You know, Moortown, what I would say about Moortown, everyone was sound.
You used to like Chain Bull then, didn't you?
Chain Bull.
Yeah.
So we used to be, Queen's Arms now.
Yes.
It used to be called the Real McCoy.
Yeah.
But I think it was
Streets of Leeds up there as
Streets of Leeds. So that's what we used to do. So Queen's Arms, Chain Bull, Streets of Leeds.
So
same type of people.
And you got Deer Park on the same
Deer
road.
Park. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Deer Park. Deer Park, what it is now is an eatery. It's quite back then it was a bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Brackenwood.
Yeah.
The Brackenwood pub. So we had everything, and like I said, you start getting to know people. Yeah, there used to be an old wives' tale, you know, about Stella. Oh, if you don't clean the pipes, it gets stronger.
Okay.
That's what they used to say. So everyone used to start drinking Stella, and I'm gonna say something now, which I didn't like saying. Like, I don't like what people say, but beer were better then, or it were more stronger. You know, to what it is now.
See, I can't say I can go that level, but I can say that I think what made the beer better, I don't actually think it was the beer, I think it was the atmosphere.
Yes, okay.
I think the atmosphere made a pint a better pint.
I think so.
If you're going back in time.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, you go to, like, we used to go to social clubs and you'd have the Irish in the corners, but they'd be singing a song.
Yeah,
You'd have the pool table, you have the snooker table, you'll have a bit of music going on in the background.
Yeah.
All the older people that have been there actually years will sit down, have a laugh and a joke with you. And the pint is actually, you've got no time in thinking of how good this pint is because the atmosphere.
You just taught me something there, and that's exactly what I think it is. Because I'm learning that now. We associate a lot of memories to certain things. So yeah, that's a good point, and that's why I don't like saying it, because, like I says, where I am now in my journey, it's like, I mean, I'm not an advocate against alcohol or anything like that. I'm just an advocate, Sonny against that, you know, Sonny. He's against alcohol.
I think sometimes, and in any walk of life, we kind of have to be careful of justification.
Yeah.
And I think because some of the times we'll do and say things and justify it with an excuse.
Yeah.
But, and I think, so I understand what you're saying there, because you don't want to say it's that way, because then it will give you justification of saying why you had a drink.
Yeah.
Or why you enjoy drinking.
I think because what it is, I try and keep things relevant to me now.
Yeah.
Try and keep things relevant to me. So I'm kind of like jumping back and forth, because I'm going to little bits that I'm learning now as well, because we learn that, you know, now, was the alcohol and the substances my problem, or was I always the problem? You know, and that just kind of elevated my actions and stuff.
Because it's funny you say that. because again, if you're looking at stats,
Yeah.
And look, you know, for anybody watching, I do understand stats can be manipulated.
Yeah.
But it's the fact of childhood trauma that's linked to drugs and alcohol.
Yes, definitely.
But then you can't say that's for everybody.
Yes.
We know it's a high percentage. We know it's high. It's around the 80% mark, isn't it, or something
I think
like
so.
that.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting higher and higher.
But then
now,
I would sit here and listen to your story. And again, you can pull anything from anyone's story where you go, yeah, but he didn't suffer childhood trauma. But then my argument to that is, yeah, but he wanted his dad in his life.
Yeah.
So it's how people look. It's a perception of what you know, what you understand, and what the reality is.
1,000,000%.
Do you know what I mean?
And do you know what it is? That's exactly what it is. I mean, do you know, I have got, don't get me wrong, there was some stuff that I saw, you know, when I was younger and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't talk about just because of the people that thingy. But
out of respect.
Yeah, just out of respect. But it was more, again, I don't associate with that. I associate with the good times. I think as I got older and I started to make my own mistakes, and I got someone told me something quite interesting. When I become sober in 2022, someone rang me and I spoke to a very good friend of mine, and he said, "Can I just say something to you?" And I went, "What?" He goes, "All them years you were drinking, you played a character." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I known you since you were 13, yeah?" And I went, "Yeah, you have." Right? So which is like, you know, 30 years, yeah? I went, "Yeah, you have." And he went, "You're a nice guy. You know, you'd give, if you had £2, you'd give someone £1. You know, you because as you started drinking and people who mingle, I would mingle around with everybody, you know what I mean? I never just had one circle of friends. I was with everyone. I'm a very sociable person. I can speak to anybody." And he goes, "Then you started to kind of mirror what were around you." Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that was very important for me, that. And that was something that if you said that to me 3 years ago, I'd have told you I can get lost. Put forward now, what? So
let's go along these lines. So you got Wallet Grange in 92.
Yeah.
You then finished school. So we're around 2002 now, aren't we? We're going around that realm. So you're working now, you've got your credit card.
2002,
and now you've got your overdraft, so you're able to go to the pubs.
Yeah,
you've always got
comfortably. You go to the pub and that.
But then what people don't realise with these overdrafts is as soon as you get paid, you're paying off the overdraft.
You're paying it off the overdraft.
Then you've got your credit card and you're paying your credit card off.
So I tell you what, the tough thing was for me as well. My dad took a majority of my wage.
Or for living at home?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
My dad was always like quite militant with the business lessons, money lessons. I used to be like, how can you sit there and take half of my wage? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how we felt. Because, you know, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, getting a bus at 5 o'clock to Leeds City Centre, then getting a bus from Leeds City Centre to Gelderd Road every day. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I'm doing that. And then I'm getting 2 buses back home. Does that make sense? Why? And that's what.
Why are you taking my money?
That's what I'm doing. And that then I started to become bitter. And that then started to I was drinking more. Because I was like, you know what? And I tell you what, at that point, I started to be, what's the point? And I just started to.
Okay. So we're at the part where Dad's taking money off you.
Yeah.
Is that, again, so you've said it's a bit of a turning point for you there.
Yeah.
Is that a turning point where you're going, I'm leaving home?
No. At that point, I you know what? I loved my dad. I loved him loads. I mean, I love him now. Sorry, sorry, I keep touching that. I love him loads, but you know, my dad, because there's only 20 years between me and my dad.
Okay.
Right. So if you imagine, I'm 13. He's what, 33?
Yeah.
34. And you know, the times that he were at home, he'd take his side, you know, he'd take me on the bike and stuff like that. So he did stuff with us when he could, but you know, he did work a lot. So no, I'd never thought of leaving home. I loved it too much. I was too comfortable at home, and I liked it too much. You know, he bought a nice house, and he made
you
things
in a nice area.
Yeah, in a nice area. You know, got a garden now. Because when we lived in Chapeltown, we lived in St Martin's. You had a little bit of a back garden, a little bit of a front garden, and a bit of a drive. This has got a big garden now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A nice big lawn at the back, nice big thing at the front. So you know, I definitely.
So you're still in the same job. You're still at the same job. So from that, obviously there's a little bit of
Yeah.
you're a little bit narky because your dad's taking your
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
However, you're still going out.
Still going out.
Mingling with your friends.
Still going out, still with my friends, and still. So like now, I'm starting to kind of like drink excessively but fast.
Okay.
Sorry, not excessively but fast.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So now I'm knocking my pints now. I'm not drinking it. I'm not sipping no more. I'm not talking to you no more. I'm just knocking my pints and stuff like that. I'm liking it now. I'm like, 1 minute, bloody hell, I'm getting this rush now. So I'm getting it quicker. So I'm doing that now. I'm doing that. This is all going through my head. Then I kind of leave work.
Okay.
I leave work. Oh no, sorry. I was still at the work. We decided to move to another part of Leeds. So we moved to Rothwell then.
Okay.
From there. Dad bought a shop, an house and a shop out there. So I went up there. That's when I thought, he's took me away from my friends, took me away from my local, the local pubs, everywhere. He's took me to an area where I don't know anybody, and then it was, it was a predominant white area, where we moved to. I hated it. So I said to him, whatever, and I kind of like, I were at home, left for a bit, went home, left for a bit. I was staying at wherever I could, I used to then, that's where then I started to get the party scenes now.
Okay.
Because I was, when you've got nowhere to stay, so you start, where's the next party? So you can stay there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then that's
you're sofa hopping.
Sofa hopping, yeah, definitely. I'm still not convinced though, this is for me. I want the safety of my house. I want my bed. That makes sense. But then I'm like, no, I need to kind of show him that, not knowing that he's done all this for my good.
Yeah. But you'll try to show him your independence.
Yeah. Try to say, well, woman, I don't need your help. I don't need you to guide me. One thing I'd say about my dad, he was always 10 steps ahead. That makes sense. And he knew things were happening and stuff like that. And he would try to get me away and, I never thought of that. So yeah, started getting into the parties then. That was you don't have to have 50 quid for the pub. It's a tenner each.
Yeah.
Get a crate or whatever. Started to drink there. That's going into my 20s now. Going into my 20s. Started to, house parties, then the pubs again. I'm away from home now, kind of long term. I'd say about a year and a half.
Okay.
When I mean long term for me, for when I was there. So now I am going to parties, meeting older people now, lads older than me. Then got introduced to cocaine.
Okay.
So how I jumped from that to that's how quick it came into my life. So you've doubled your addiction now, haven't you? 1,000,000%. I can remember sitting in the house. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the sofa, ready to go to sleep. And they went, and I went, never done that before. I don't know what it is. Go on, you'll be all right. That's it.
Next minute, you're wide awake.
Wide awake. And I don't know why people say, oh, well, you can't get, I'm not talking about anyone else. I've got a very addictive personality. That first thingy for me, done it. It just absolutely, and I would try to chase that first time.
Yeah.
So then I started to kind of like start meeting other lads from like different areas and stuff like that. Started like when it became more of not the drinking now, it was that. So before it was like you'd have the odd one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
now it's becoming a big part of the session now where you're chipping in for that and you're chipping in for that. And when you're meeting lads from different estates and stuff like that, they do things differently and stuff. And you're like, wow. Again, throughout all this, I'm still chasing that first time on the city. I can't get it back.
And within this scene now, you're seeing different things if people have different things and how people do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously you start, so it's because everything's new to you.
Everything's new. Yeah, I'm looking, I'm like, wow, is this person and that person? And you start seeing the mixture of females and males, and you're like, wow, this is a good atmosphere, this. But again, I'm chasing this first time. and I can't get it back.
Yeah.
I honestly can't get it back.
Okay, so we've still drinking,
Yeah, still drinking.
but now we've added a drug to it.
We've
Now.
added a drug to it.
When
now.
you were younger, you tried a bit of cannabis, wasn't for you.
Yeah.
But however, now what you've done is you've kind of multiplied everything, haven't you?
Definitely.
So you've got the pressures. I suppose you're not feeling the pressure back then, though. It's not. Wouldn't be classed as.
I'd say not the pressure, but I think that year and a half, because I wasn't at home. I was like, who am I kind of responsible to? I'm responsible to myself. So nobody can tell me, nobody can say, what time did you come in and stuff like that. I'm out there. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, you know, I'm gonna
kind of carefree.
Carefree. I'm gonna compare it to, you know, another story which I'm gonna get into in a bit. When my missus used to ring me every 2 minutes saying, "Where am I?" And I used to wish for that freedom. You know, that's the freedom I'm talking about. Yeah. And I had that. Anyway, I did that. Started to kind of. I started to realise I could drink more now.
Yes. Yeah. Because you're not actually getting drunk.
Not getting drunk.
If you're on a certain.
Started drinking more, but then I'm not getting that same buzz again. I'm still confused. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not feeling like I felt on that sofa? You know. And then I started to drink more. You were drinking, but then you were like, it started to become a badge of honor. Like, oh, this, I could have 10 pints, and half a bottle of whiskey and still get up the next day. You know, because you're only 20.
So you're no longer working now?
At that point, no. I am kind of, oh no, I was working with my mate. He had a stall in the Leeds market.
Okay.
So I just do odd little bits with him. And they were letting me odd little night sleep at their house and stuff like that. And because you've got to understand, I'm a Sikh. They know my parents. Which parents in the community are going to let me sleep at their house? Yeah. They were telling their kids to stay away from it. I will, you know, probably, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so these were, when I was meeting different people of different backgrounds, you know, and that's what kind of, I wasn't committed now to my community.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So that your community is now kind of a little bit, your community is not looking out for you how they would previously. They're now telling people to kind of avoid you.
Yeah, a lot of it was like, you know, and you hear the stories and stuff like that, and you know, but then it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I started to meet different people, and you know, my family started growing of friends of white, black, you know, a couple of, you know, Chinese lads, and I was like, you know, Pakistani lads. I met a couple of lads from the Bangladeshi community, and I was like, wow, do you know what? There's so many different people out there. And yeah, man, I was like, people that I can proud to call my brothers today, do you know, lost a couple, but some are still here. And, you know, a couple that I've kept in touch with. And you know what it was? The love was different, because now I'm sat with these people and it's not, oh, I'm brown and they're white and he's, you know, none of that.
Some of these friendships last a lifetime anyway,
I'll tell you something now. Like I said to you now, I speak to a few of them now, and it's, the bond was made. It was made then, and it's still there now.
Okay, so usually when people are involved in certain things, they come to a breaking point, or they come to a light bulb moment, don't they? So it depends on your definition, doesn't it? Like mine, a lot of people know of mine's my mum. Okay. So what is that? And you can name it how you see it. Yeah. Is that, do you have a light moment? Is there a change where you go, whoa, I can't do this no more? Something has to have occurred for you to go, right.
So I'm just going to kind of dip into
something. Yeah, no problem.
So after all this madness, I've moved back home. Okay. Yeah? And then I met my partner.
Right, okay.
She's actually from Rothwell. So
you got posh end on her?
Yeah, well, no, we were from the estate. She is posh though. She is posh.
You had to put that
I had to kind of think it. And we knew each other for a while, and then we got together, and it was like a shotgun relationship. You know, like pretty much got together, moved in straight away.
Oh wow!
Had our first baby together a year later. So now my dad is like, oh man, this guy's with a white girl. Okay. You know. Yeah. So get away from my house. Disowned. Didn't speak to me for years. Yeah. So now I've got with her. So why I want to bring my partner into it is because that's 17 years. I'm with her 20 years now. That's 17 years of madness she saw.
Yeah.
Of my, if you imagine my behaviour just progressing and progressing and progressing, not coming home for 2 days, not coming home, and she's seen all that. Text messages. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Come on, where have you been? Stuff like that, and whatever.
And some of the times you've got to remember, some of the times you actually can't even answer it, can you?
Can't answer it, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get a text message off her, turn my phone off.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was sat with some lads, God bless his soul now. He's no longer with us, he's from up Heber Gardens. And I was at his flat at one point. I just wanted to bring this in because she was ringing. It was like 5 a.m, 6 a.m. He answered the phone, pretended to be a police officer.
Wow.
Actually, no, he rang back from my phone and said, this is PC so-and-so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to a bit of a disturbance with having to keep, Sonny in overnight, Sandeep Cozy, keep him in overnight. And whether she bought it or not, she accepted it over the phone, but she's not daft.
But after a while, she's going to get used to these lies. She's
going to get used to these lies.
Now she understands there is an addiction there.
Exactly. So now she's living through that day in, day out. I've got a complication with my son born premature, he born 3 months early, about that big, size of my hand, touch and go, every day, every 2 days, going to hospital, you better come in and say your goodbyes. Went through that for a long time. Yeah, that was hard. I'm using more now.
Because you've got the stress of having a premature
Exactly.
baby. Yeah.
Not realising that this woman who's stuck by me needs me.
Who's there every single
day. And I'm not going to the hospital, to a point where the nurse had to come out and see me and say, will you please come to the hospital? You need to learn how to do the aftercare because we're going to release your son in 6 months' time. And this was in January, so 6 months' time, summertime. We need you to learn these things for us to be confident that we can
let him home.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. So he's in an incubator, oxygen machine. Your skin's not developed.
Getting
fed.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to tell you something now. Nurses get a bad rap. This nurse came to my house on her own time and sat with me. Do you know that? And taught me through things, man. Brought me. And she just said, come on, I'll come with you. I'll take you.
Wow.
And it was amazing. You know what? She was like an angel, man.
So just so I've got the story right. So you're saying you have the birth of your son.
Yeah.
Premature.
Yeah.
They're going to bring him home, but you haven't been going to the visit because you're still doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm saying to myself, I'm not ready.
Yeah. But then this nurse, you've got this particular nurse who's saying, look, please come. We need to teach you all these things.
Yeah.
She then comes to the house.
Yeah.
And she sits down with you and said, listen, Sonny, what are you doing with your life, basically?
1,000,000%.
You've got this child. You've got your missus. What are you doing? I'll come with you.
Yes.
So that's your moment.
She talked to me as if, not nurse to parent.
Yeah.
Just human being to human being. And it kind of like, I went in, started going in, just because of this lady, incredible. And it breaks me that I can't remember her name.
Okay.
But yeah, started going in and stuff like that. And again, though, I'm hungover. You got to understand, I'm partying a lot, not really appreciating what's going on. Then it comes out Father's Day, believe it or not. Come out Father's Day in 2008. What did I do? Straight away party. Get the lads around. Let's party. Lived in Middleton at this point.
Miggy.
Lived in Miggy, man. Loved it. You know what? Miggy gets a bad rep, yeah. But let me tell you, I had some of my best times there. I had some of my best times. But like I says, I went when it was a little bit more understanding.
Yeah.
If I'd have gone 10 years before, you know what? No.
Yeah.
But I went there at a good time where it was a little bit more mixed and, like I said, it was a little bit more acceptable, to be in there. And I knew, and because of my brother, I knew a few lads and it was nice. I had some really good times. Met some top lads, honestly. I met some fantastic people. Started partying and stuff like that. And then, so going back to this, I've got to learn how to feed. You've got to put the feeding tube up his nose.
Down his throat,
that's right.
Yeah.
It has to be done correctly because it can come out. You share a tube that comes out your mouth, but also goes down your throat. It's the same. You got to be careful that you don't do that because you could there was times you could turn blue and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've got oxygen machines all around the house. Oxygen pipes, sorry. So you've got one machine feeding loads of pipes throughout every room. He has to have an oxygen machine. We've also got canisters, so we can take him out for the day and stuff.
How old are you now?
I am 2008. I'm rubbish with numbers, man.
Let's work backwards from how old he is in your own head.
Right, so 17.
Okay,
so 17. I'm 43, 17, 20, 24?
You see, like 26.
26. Yeah, that sounds right. 26. So I'm still young.
Yeah.
I'm still vibrant. And I'm not...
Would you say, though, because there's going to be people that watch that are going to go, yeah, but he's 26. Blah, blah, blah. But are you saying you're a 26? What people are not taking into account is there's things that's happening in the background for you.
Yeah.
And as a 26-year-old man, are you actually ready for that commitment of being able to put children? So it's easy for you as a man to go, listen, I can't do it. This is too much for me. Yeah. I'm not saying that you should or anybody out there that you should, but it's easy for you to do that, or it's an easier option for you to take because your missus is there.
So you just took the answer out of my mouth. I love that.
Right, okay.
Because that's what I did. I relied on her. I thought, I'm all right. She knows everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it does because I just said it.
I was not ready. I was having kids, and I have a sponsor now because I'm learning the 12 steps of VA. My sponsor's an incredible guy. I love him to death. I've not even met him face to face. I speak to him over the phone.
Well, I know little bits of the 12. I mean, obviously, I had a person on previously, a guy called Phil.
Okay, yeah.
Phil Beers. Yeah. And he'd done the 12 steps. And also, when I'd previously been away, I know that people have done the 12 steps. And I know the sponsors, because then as you do it, you then got to give back.
It's a service.
You've got to give back.
Yeah.
But again, we'll touch on that as we go along. So we're at a stage of your missus is there. So you're saying, well, I've got my missus. She can do that.
Yeah, she can do all that. So I'm not bothered now in a way where I can just carry on doing what I'm doing. Be there. Be present without being present.
Physically.
Yeah. Physically, not emotionally or like that. Mm. So she's having to deal with all that, yeah. But me, I'm just hungover. Can't wait until a reasonable time to have a beer, and get back on it. So then, and I had a daughter before that as well. Sorry, I've had another kid before that. So this is my second kid.
Okay.
So I reckon I'm having a kid. And I love my kids to death, but this is what my sponsor, and I love it when he says it. I was having kids just because it made me feel better. It felt like I was doing something. That makes sense. I didn't have a kid like to say, let's have a kids and let's, I'm a lad, let's have kids. Just to make my life have a bit of purpose, I reckon. And I understand that now. So I'm not really, I'm a dad, not a father. That's how I look at it.
Totally understand. Totally get it.
So this incredible woman, right, is there every day dealing with stuff, and and it's touch and go as well sometimes. And I'm coming home sometimes the day after. I want to just very quickly. There was one time I were out in Leeds City Centre at a club, what we all used to go to. I can't remember what it's called now. It were up at Briggate. Mint.
Oh, Mint. There's Mint, there's Forno, there's
I think it was Mint or something. I can't remember, somewhere like that. And I'd been in there and I tried a little fella.
Okay.
First time. And I met a gentleman in there, I won't mention his name because he's no longer with us, but you'll know who he is. Really nice guy from up Alton, from Alton Moor. And I met him in there and he gave me, and he goes, we're talking to him, met through some mutual friends, and end up having it. And me and him were on the dance, and I was like, this is rubbish, this. 20 minutes later, I'm on the dance floor with me and him. He's got his top off, I've got my top off. The next minute, I've run out. I've just run out of the club. I don't know how I've got home, but I'm at home and all my mouth's bleeding because I've chewed me.
Okay.
Yeah. So my son now he has a call out sometimes, if he's, so he's on a machine. And if it starts going a little bit low, you call and they come out and they looked at me and they were like ready to take me away. Wow. You know what I mean? So there's certain situations like that. So you imagine a woman, right, who's got this to deal with. Obviously, my other daughter is 2-year-old. So, and then you've got me, a third baby, because not knowing where he is and coming home, with like that was a weird sensation that I never knew, whatever. And they thought I'd been attacked. I said, I'm not being attacked. I couldn't speak, but I was able to kind of thingy. Anyway, luckily, thankfully they were concentrating more on my son.
Yeah.
Anyway, that thingy. So yeah, that kind of stuff happened as well. So moving on now a little bit. So she's seen all that now. She's seen all these different occasions, you know what I mean? Turning my phone off and stuff like that. Still sticking by me, by the way. Not throwing me out at any point as well. In 17 years, right?
Good woman.
Mate, I'm telling you, it's like I look now and I even say to her now, we can talk on a level. And I say, are you all right?
Yeah.
Because
I know what you mean.
But do you know what? I always put it down to a God moment. She will put in my life for a reason. So anyway, I started moving on.
Yeah. No. Because are we? So this is still not.
This is going towards the.
Yeah. So when you're getting to the stage where this nurse has come now.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
So
okay.
I lost my mum.
Oh,
I lost my mum.
that.
No, it's fine. And I lost my mum, and I went on a 3-day bender, right? And it was, I've lost my mum. You lot don't know how it's all about me.
Sorry, but in all fairness, you was doing that anyway.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in reality, you was doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Whilst your mum was still alive.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but like now, my mum. Why am I out there with bags of bottles of thingy and telling people I'm celebrating my mum's, I'm not celebrating my mum's death, but mourning my mum's death when this woman didn't party like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was doing all that, and I was at a house actually on the estate, and the lads pulled me to one side, and they went, "Listen, we're taking you home, mate." And I went, "What do you mean? I'm all right." Listen, going home. They walked me home. I went to work the next day, stunk of vodka, lost my job. Yeah. And anyway, came home. Now I'm kind of like just bouncing from job to job. Haven't got a full-time job. I'm working for myself, sorry. I'm doing maintenance and whatever, painting and decorating and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm still doing what I'm doing. Not dealing with my mum's death really well. We're getting to like lockdown now. Lockdown's happened. Started off really well in lockdown, actually, to be fair, because I was scared. Didn't know what was going on. What's going to happen to my kids? Are we all going to make it through?
Yeah.
So I started to exercise, and started to kind of like eat healthy. Do you know where everybody was doing their own meals? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Everyone got into, started doing all that. Oh, it was amazing. Turkey. I never had turkey mince before in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously it was always either pork or beef. Started this turkey mince, courgette spaghetti, stuff like that. Just started to kind of like thingy. That lasted 3 months, 2 months, right? Then the lockdown started to continue. I don't know if you remember the first lockdown. The weather was like this every day.
Yes, it was March, wasn't it?
It was March, but it was absolutely glorious.
Yeah.
So on my estate, we all grown up together, known each other. So people say to look at it from outside, it doesn't look all the best, but we've got some good people on that.
Yeah.
It's a nice, everyone knows each other. So yeah, we all started drinking and stuff, and that's going on now. We're all partying and stuff like that. I'm not sticking to this lockdown. No, I don't. We're not. But there's a point.
People on the estates are they?
Mate, we were sat on the road. There were police were driving past. We were about 20 of us sat on deck chairs and stuff like that and whatever. And yeah, I started doing that. So
as long as you were 2 meters apart.
Yeah, mind you, you know what? I think a few lads were over there.
Yeah.
Because everyone's off their head.
Yeah.
Everyone's just doing their own thing. You know what I mean? And then they got to like 2021, end of 2021. I had a really good Christmas, man. What I mean by that, I had a good drink.
Okay.
Drank. But 2020 to 21, I ain't touched no cocaine.
Okay. So that stopped.
That stopped for a year, but the drinking. And I'm drinking like 60 bottles of Budweiser from Friday to Sunday, and 3 to 4 bottles of Prosecco as well. So I'm having a bottle of Prosecco per night, or two. So 1 on a Friday night, 2 on a Saturday night, and 1 on a Sunday. with the Budweiser. So I'm doing that now. Christmas come, having a few drinks again. I'm waiting for 11 o'clock. I'm not bothered about the kids' presents. And I'm going to say, and a lot of fathers might relate to this, I don't know what's in them presents. I don't know what she's bought them.
You just know you've contributed.
I've contributed.
And
yeah,
Mum's gone out and bought
she's
them.
bought half, I've bought half. That's all I know. Anyway, it's my son's birthday. The one who's premature, like 2nd of Jan. You know. Anyway, got to his birthday. I'm having a drink now. Having a few drinks. And I went, I'm going to order some food. It's about 6, 7 o'clock. And this is rare for me because I'm ready to go till like 11 o'clock at night. Ordered some food. Went to bed. I woke up the next day and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this dry January. What everyone's talking about. I know it's the 3rd of January, but... And I don't quote... And I think it was a Monday, you know.
And technically, it's not a New Year's resolution.
Not a New Year's resolution. I'm just doing it, you know. So now I'm doing it a week. I've done a week. My missus is doing it as well because she's buzzing now. Thinking this guy's... You know, everything that she's asked me to do. And one thing I will say, anybody in addiction, whether it's alcohol or substances, you can tell them till you're blue in the face. If they don't want to stop, they're not going to stop. So this is me now. Done a week, 2 weeks. I've got to 2 months now, Carl, yeah? I'm like, wow, 8 weeks. So she goes, well, it's your 40th birthday in June. What are you going to do? I said, I don't know. So I'm going to play it by ear. I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm just going to play it by ear. So it's 5 months. So even though it's June, it's classed as 5 months. January to June. Got to my 5th month and my 40th. You know what? I had the best birthday of my life. We had a little table outside with my kids and my missus, bit of food, soft drinks. Best birthday I ever had. Better than my 21st, better than my 18th.
So, I just want to say something because, and this is before you even said it, but what do they call that something? I'm trying to think. Because you haven't done, it's not sobriety, it's not your 12 steps. Oh, I'd heard the word for the first time the other, is it white knuckle?
White knuckling.
White knuckling.
Yes, I got told that by a lady from AA.
Yeah. So I'd literally heard it maybe about 4 days ago. Yeah. And actually, I heard it through your live.
Okay, yes.
It was the Scouse fella who was in another country.
Yeah, from Spain.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, T-Bone.
But he said, and I remember he said something, and I didn't know what it meant. And I literally got on my phone whilst in your live. Yeah. And I got on and thought, what's this white knuckle?
White knuckling is horrible.
Yeah. And I looked up and I thought, wow.
It's not nice.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you something now. I want to say this because of the viewers as well. If you have been drinking for a while, and you know, I wasn't drinking where I had to get up in the morning and needed a drink. I excessively drank on a weekend, on an evening. But it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. You can pack yourself in.
So let's go back. 40th birthday.
40th birthday, ever. Best day ever. And I'm thinking to myself, right, I've won 2 battles here. No, sorry, 3 battles. So I've done 5 months, my 40th birthday, but summertime. Yeah. Which was my trigger. You know, this weather here is my trigger. I'd get up at 11 o'clock in the morning, nice cold beer in the back garden.
Do you know this weather's not my trigger. I can't stand the heat.
Wow. I'm the opposite. I like that cold beer, whatever, and so I'm sat there like
I said trigger then but I just don't like I'm not a summer fan.
Wow, okay. You know what, and I understand that because I know a couple of people like that. Yeah. I'm different. Well, now I'm not. Because I think now, you know, my summers were drinking.
Yeah. So you related summer
that's right.
to alcohol. There's a relationship between them both.
Definitely. Then, I'm sat there and I've won these 3 battles in my head. I thought, wow, 40th, summer, 5 months. What's the point now, drinking? You know, I'm getting it in my head. But but white knuckling, mood swings.
Because at the time, that's what you're doing, you're white knuckling, aren't you?
Yeah, mood swings. Headaches, phantom hangovers.
Well, I read something up on the white knuckling, and that's because of the tension.
Yes.
So it's a constant it's that constantly in it without releasing. Eventually, your knuckles, they turn white through it, and it's because people are everything's just built up. So it's an explosion waiting to happen. And usually it comes out in different forms. So it can come back in drinking again. It can come back in violence. It can come back on substance misuse. So it takes many different forms because you're not actually seeking out. You're self-medicating, self-medicating. Yeah.
Mine was picking up garden furniture and throwing it at the fence.
Okay.
Right. Luckily, I'm not a violent person. You know, I've never been violent at home or all like that. Yeah. I threw it at the fence in front of everybody, and they just looked at me like, "What is he doing?" You know, like, it was actually embarrassing. Yeah. I look back and it was embarrassing. You know, them little flimsy chairs.
Yeah, I know which ones you mean.
You know,
you get them in white and green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, something's not right here. I don't. You know, why am I feeling like this? I've done what I thought sobriety was. The drink and the alcohol. The drugs and the alcohol.
Because we're still in 2020, aren't we?
So we're 2022. Sorry, 2022 now.
Because then you went to 2022, and that's when you said that you have been from 2022.
Sorry, I that was my fault. That's all. Okay. 20 to 2022, I was still drinking. 20 to 20 end of 21, I was still drinking. Beginning of 22 now. Sorry, that's when my sobriety started. Sorry, I should have clarified that. So that 20 to 21, but 21 I started to slow down. So like I said, I've not done any substances. That's what I meant. Sorry, 20 to 21, no substances at all. Okay, not just drink now.
Yeah. But then we have the January to June of 2022.
No alcohol.
No alcohol.
No alcohol. So I'm already a year off the substances, a year and a half. Now I'm 5 months with the booze.
But you're white knuckling.
I'm white knuckling, and it's horrible. Like I says, also the nightmares. Nightmares are very. I have night terrors, but I don't have them as much as what I did when I white knuckled.
So do you know? Speaking of the terrors, only because I'm thinking of something like, is that terror that wakes you up?
So I used to have them where I never woke up, but my missus would wake up. And I'd be screaming. She even said to me, "You were speaking in your own language, you know, Punjabi, and whatever." And she goes, "You were saying like mad stuff, and you were arguing with yourself, and they'd be just." She goes, "You'd be having arguments with somebody, you know, like it was weird, and like to a point where I wanted her to record me, but she says no. She didn't feel comfortable. Okay, and I wanted to.
So you're having all those,
having all them. Anyway." Got up and I'm having the phantom hangovers, which you're having a full-blown hangover experience without having a drink. And I'm thinking, why do I feel like this? Depression as well, getting depression, anxiety was off the roof. And then I'm not doing up, by the way. I've just stopped drinking. I'm still eating.
So there's no substances, there's no
alcohol. But I'm not doing anything different. I'm not training. I'm just living life without alcohol or substances. Got to the end of 2022, beginning of 23, I started to doing running. Okay. Then chemical balance started to fall into place, endorphins and stuff, and I was managing it a lot better now. I'm starting to go to the temple as well, getting that spirituality.
So faith is coming back into
coming back into it. So people are starting to recognise now that he's not drinking and stuff, and I'm starting to hear a lot of, "Oh, we're proud of you" and stuff like that. But in me, I'm like, still not in a good place.
So in this period of when we're in this period and we're in 2020, because obviously you've got your missus.
Yeah.
Your dad has not agreed with that. So
no.
Is that relationship still?
So with my dad, it was always on and off.
Okay.
On and off. You know, it was never accepted in his eyes or whatever, and that's his decision, and I respect that or whatever. But I chose my missus because she's been with me 17 years. She's given me 5 beautiful kids, and she stuck by me through things that, let me tell you something now, if I'd have gone down the traditional route, she'd have thrown me out the second day. You know what I mean? So like, so it's on and off with my dad and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm just kind of putting on a brave face when I go see my dad, you know, drinking and whatever. And, you know, but behind closed doors, he don't know what's going on. He don't know that he's leaving my house and they're going out of town, getting off his head and stuff like that. He's just seeing me drinking and having food and stuff. And then, so...
End of 2022 now?
End of 2022, 2023, exercising now.
Endorphins, chemical balance. You're going back to.
Starting to lose a little bit of weight now.
You're going back to the temple.
Going back to the temple. I'm 18 stone at that point though.
Okay.
About 18 and 19 stone because I'm still eating loads. Because when I stopped drinking, my sugar intake was so. It was so. I mean, I got a sweet tooth anyway. You know, after
because with all the alcohol, the sugar intake would have been quite high, wouldn't it?
Budweiser has the more sugar that I didn't realize when I seen this post about how much sugar Budweiser is, and that's what I drank. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so yeah, I'm eating a lot and I'm eating stuff. I'm putting loads of weight on. So now I'm starting to run. I'm starting to see a little bit of a difference. I'm starting to lose a bit of weight. Going to the temple. Can I also say as well, the older generation are looking at me differently. Okay. I'm actually getting greeted now. And I love my uncles. You know, when I say my uncles, they're not blood relation. I'm talking about my friends' dads. I have a lot of respect from day dot. And they had a right to be angry with me because I was not conducting myself in the right way.
Yeah.
As you know, these are people that have gone through 70s, 80s, you know, when they had battles. I can't say, oh, my life was tough. When I hear these lot of stories, I'm like, come on, mate.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Especially if you go back to like your grandparents as well, when they're coming into the country.
Wow. Some of the stories that I heard, like my dad telling me some mad stories, yeah. And, you know, growing up and getting attacked, you know, getting stuff from your letterbox and, you know, whatever. And this is me now telling people that I've had the worst, you know.
But it's kind of coming back round now, isn't it?
It's coming back round now.
Because now what they're doing now is instead of them distancing themselves from you, they're actually greeting you now.
Yes, so I'm getting greeted now. And you know what? That meant more to me than anything. Because I love and respect these men, you know, and like now, you know, they embrace me and I have a conversation with them. And you know what? My heart started to fill up a bit now, yeah?
Is that giving you more determination not to go back as well? I'll
tell you something now. It was the kick up my ass I needed as well. Because I started to kind of doubt myself, thinking, what is the point? My life's not improving, you know.
Because in essence, if you look at it in a bubble,
yeah.
So if you look at it in a sense of you're up Miggy, you're in a bubble because you've got your missus, your kids, but that's your bubble, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
What's going on is there's a wider bubble. There's your community, there's the family, there's family of the community.
Yes.
Especially when you're going back to the temple.
Definitely.
You're going to the temple because that is going to be, technically speaking, your people.
Definitely. I mean, I even went, I didn't go New Year's Eve, I went on New Year's Day.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm driving up Chapeltown Road, it's pitch black, right? It's quiet. I swear to God, it was so tranquil. I pulled in the car park and I could just see the lights entrance of it. And I walked in, I was on my own, there was no one in there. I walked in, I was just on my own, sat in there, and I just sat there like that. And then it's like, you know, with the Sikh temple, it's a meditation place. So, you know, you don't, so like in the Muslim faith, they actively pray, you know, in a church, your pastor would speak to you and whatever. In the Sikh temple, you actually sit there and just listen and meditate. You know, so and just
gathering your own thoughts.
Just gather your own thoughts, you know. And I'm sat there and whatever like that, and I'm liking this feeling now. I'm like,
However, there's a because, and I'm only saying however because I know of the white knuckle.
Yeah.
But then I also know that you are doing sobriety.
Yeah.
Like your 12 steps.
Yeah.
So there has to be a bit where the realization comes in where you go, it's maybe not the word in white knuckle, but you know there's something not quite right.
Yes.
Because if you're doing so successful, as people might be looking at, well, if you're doing so successful on your own, why you then got a sponsor and you're doing the 12 steps? So where's that bit?
This now, so just imagine 2 years now. 2 years of doing this, yeah?
Right.
We approach end of 24.
Okay.
Beginning of 25.
And you've still gone no substance, no alcohol, all this time.
And can I also mention as well, I'm starting both 2024 and 2025, right, moody.
Okay.
You know, picking at my missus, like just starting daft little arguments. Do you know what I mean?
Still something missing.
There's something missing. 2023 to end of, 2023 to, end of 2023 to end of 2024. Someone came up to me and says, why don't you start telling people what you've done? Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, don't bottle it up, Leeds. right? And I didn't want to do it. This was somebody else's idea. It wasn't in my plan.
Can I just say, whoever this person is, you want to thank them.
I'm telling you. And I'll tell you something now, right?
you want to thank them, because whoever does get that, don't bottle it up Leeds on TikTok, like, I will, there's things that even I go on there and I go, wow. Like, again, the white knuckle thing, when I go to myself and I go, yeah, I've done that many a time.
Yeah, and honestly, that's exactly what it is. But that would have never have happened if that person didn't come into my life and say it. Carl, honestly, it was never in my intention to come online to tell people, because I was selfish. I didn't care about no one else.
It's also the embarrassment as well.
The embarrassment, yeah. I just wanted to get myself better. That's selfish, that. I was just wanting to keep it for myself.
Is he back to that bubble?
Getting back to that bubble now. So now, obviously, he's told me about this, and got a few people giving me ideas, getting pulled in this direction, pulled in that right direction.
Because what I will say, before you carry on, because prior to us having the conversation, I think I said something along the lines of, we probably know the same people.
That's right. Yeah,
and then as we've spoke, it's kind of like, wow,
yeah,
we do know the same people.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? So when you've got someone coming to you and saying, you should do this, and you're getting pulled here, there, and everywhere, I can imagine some of the influences that are pulling you in the direction. But then I'm guessing, because of that, this is where the white knuckling is actually intensifying.
Very much.
Because then how can you go on there and not preach, because it'd be the wrong word to say, but tell your story without seeking the correct help? Because you know this within yourself, don't you? You know it deep down. If
you watch one of my videos, right, and I'll try and pin it onto my TikTok, right? One of the first ever videos. My name's Sonny. I've stopped drinking. Do you know what, Carl? If I listened to that guy, I'd just start drinking again. Yeah?
Yeah.
I had no direction. Didn't know what I was doing. Then people telling me to start doing podcasts, start doing this. And I'm like, just, yeah. Guess what happened after 3 months? Burned and crashed. And I thought, you know what? Sack, I'm not bothered about Don't Bottle It Up. Didn't do it with it. Put a few posts up on Facebook. Didn't concentrate on my TikTok at all. I was just adding whoever. Anyway, 2024, I'm doing a few motivational, memes or quotes. They're going online and stuff like that. Got to the end of 2025 now. Don't know what's happened. I'm starting to kind of look into TikTok a little bit now on my own. But I'm not looking at all the videos. I'm just concentrating on one video. And it was this gentleman called David from Healing Alcoholic Addict.
Yes, mixed race guy.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm watching him, but you know when you go onto TikTok, but you can watch the live, but you don't have to go in.
Yeah.
I'm looking on the outside. He's sat like this, and he's got a watch on.
Yeah.
And someone commented, "Oh, where'd you get that watch from?" Whatever. And he's like saying, "Oh, it's just a watch. There's no materialistic side of it. It's a Hugo Boss watch. I wanted to treat myself, and I bought myself a watch." I was like, okay, this guy sounds interesting. Yeah, come, we'll go in. I'm watching him. I don't know what it is, man. I like the guy's presence. I like the way he speaks now. So I add him. Following him. He follows me back. Whatever. I message him now.
I've just clicked.
Yeah.
I've just clicked. He's your sponsor.
He's my sponsor. But there's like a connection between me and him. And I message him, can I please come and tell my story on your TikTok live? You've got to understand, David is not, he's like you. He won't just bring anybody on. He has to know about you.
And the one thing I have noticed about him, and I watched it through your live actually, he seems, from what I've seen, he only speaks when he needs to speak.
Yes.
Or he doesn't speak at all.
No.
He just sits and he really, and what I did like about him is he writes notes.
Yes.
And then he goes back over the notes.
Yeah.
And you know that he's took them because he's reading more or less word for word what you've said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and what you said then, so he protects his own energy.
Yeah.
Right? So this is exactly like what you said to me, Sonny, I don't just get anybody on, but, you need to look and stuff like that, which is very important as well. You can't just have any Tom, Dick and Harry coming on and somebody who may be still using alcohol, someone emotional, giving you mixed signals.
You got to think, if anybody watches, it can be a trigger warning.
1,000,000%, yeah.
And not only that, I might get you on because I've seen a certain part of it.
But you've not seen the full story.
Yeah, I've not seen the full story.
Yeah.
And these people might actually know, well, hold on a minute, we're out last week, him. So for
Exactly.
me, it's more of like, people get these people on and X, Y, and Z, they have these major followings and they've done all these things. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't care. Like, this channel will never be for glorifying anything.
Yes.
Like, whether it be substance, whether it be alcohol, whether it be gangs, knife crime, whatever it might be, you'll never come on here and glorify anything on this
and
YouTube
that's what
channel.
I like, because I said to you, I have a respect for people where I will look up. Because I'm not coming in, look, I know who you are. Yeah. I've known about you for a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've only we've met once. It was actually, I talked to my missus. It must have been when my son were about 6 years old. So 2014 possibly in LGI.
Yeah, you said,
Yeah, I think I don't know if you was there visiting somebody or whatever, but my son were in hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I've talked to my missus about this, and she goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm saying, "Yeah, but maybe it's just some, I don't know, whatever."
Okay.
It's one of them situations, right? But obviously, I know who you are, right, and whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, I could just come in here thinking, "Oh yes, he's rang me." Do you understand? You know.
You sure it wasn't 2015?
Possibly. You got.
I think it's 2015.
Possibly. It might be actually 2015 because my son had appendicitis. Is it?
In fact, it's 2015.
Perfect. So so my son's bed were here. So this is the ward. You're at the end there, and my son's bed's there.
Okay.
And I seen the name on the bed.
Right.
And I did 2 and 2, and I said to, "Is it your partner was there?" And I said, "Is that Carl? Is he called Carl?" She went, "Oh yeah." And then you come back in, and then I spoke to you briefly for about a couple of minutes, not about anything. We were talking about the kids, about what my son was doing. And then you went, and but you got to stand for me. I was like, wow, I met him. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to stand here. You know, it was that kind of thing. I was like, wow, I told the lads, yeah, you won't guess who I met and stuff like that. And, so I could have just come on here on that pretense, like, oh.
Yeah. But I also think it's the energy that I now give, because it would be easy for me to still stay onto the previous lifestyle where I could get many of people to come on here.
Without a doubt.
Do you know what I mean? And I can get certain people on that would carry a reputation. But again, like I said, if you look through the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, if you look at everything surrounding it, it's not about that life.
So that's what I did. I looked up it, and I looked on your website and stuff, and I read that passage there. You know, drugs, knife crime, music, stuff like that.
The deglamorization.
Deglamorization. And I'm like, wow, this person, right, they've got something. Do you know what I mean? They're on a path.
And it would have been easy for you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it'd be easy for you is because you've just said in that instance, oh, look, I got to meet you. Yeah. So you'll have seen my path as well, because you go, that's the person that I've heard about for years. And this is the person, and look what he's doing now. So for you, it's even easy for you to come on and go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, so I had the respect. I thought, you know what, I've got to respect him enough, and I'd expect someone to do the same for me.
Yeah, of course.
And same for David. So David now, I'm going to say, took a bit of a gamble, because he's not really watching me for long. This is that God moment, So anyway, I'm ready to do his live. He rings me his live was on a Wednesday. He rings me on Sunday. I never had my phone on Sunday.
Okay.
I'd looked at it and I went, Dave, okay. Hello? He goes, Sonny, can you do me a favour? I know you're supposed to come on my live. Can you just step in for my friend in Ireland? Right? Come on his live because somebody's let him down. Yeah, Dave, no problem. Are you sure? Because I'm going to be doing yours on Wednesday. Are you sure it's not going to be? No, don't worry. That's what he kind of person he is. He's not bothered about his own life. Yeah, let's service, So I've done that.
It's for the help of others.
Now he's watched it and he's like, thinking the penny's dropped with him. He's thinking, I know what path he's on now. So we start growing together. I start meeting more people through him. So all this community that but don't get me wrong, I've built a few up myself.
Yeah.
Majority of them are through David. He's got a WhatsApp group, which we're all on.
Yeah, I heard you speak about that, because there was a lady that had come.
Yes.
Do you know what it is? I actually genuinely jump out of the live, and I was going in to do an assembly.
Okay.
And I had to jump out of the live, and I found it was the woman who had been lost all her stuff, been kicked out, and then for some reason someone found her. She came back and she found the teddy bear with her daughter's heartbeat. Was it daughter's heart?
That's right.
And all the stuff was still there.
That girl there has just joined our WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
She's through David. That's correct. Yeah. So he's building this community up. I'm meeting all these people. I've not met them face to face, but I'll tell you something now. I speak to these every single day.
Yeah.
So now he's watching me, he's guiding me, teaching me. Now he's rang me and said, Sonny, I want to take you through the 12 steps. Because he goes, I understand your energy. My whole outlook is changing now. I'm not now, I'm starting to understand what sobriety is slowly.
And one thing I will say is you constantly have a smile on your face whenever I see you.
Do you know?
Like you're happy now.
Yeah. Shall I tell you what's contributed to this? Right. My meditation. Right.
Which we were speaking about.
We were talking about, yeah. Which I did it last year and I left for a bit. My attitude started to change again and I've slowly come back in. These people that I'm connected with now, my sober family, the energy that I'm getting off them. And I swear to God, like I walked into an AA meeting, right? And there were 4 people looking at me. There were 2 men on this side, 2 women on that side, and the women and the men were like that. I went like this, Carl. Who are they waving at? They're waving at me. Are you doing? You all right? I said, yeah, I'm okay. Right? Come at the end, they went, you've just sat there and smiled since you've walked in. We got drawn to you. And they were like, what are you doing? And I said, it's the meditation. And it's the people that I'm surrounding myself with. I'm starting to understand that you've got to live sobriety. It's got to be an ongoing thing. It's got to be just as important as your religion, as your faith. It has to be. I'm not saying it's more important or less. I'm saying it has to be respected in the same,
parallel.
on the 1,000,000%. If you start thinking to yourself, like I used to, I'm all right now. I feel really, really good. I feel good today. I don't need to go to a meeting now. Don't need to go meditation, right? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I'm going to have 2 more questions.
Yeah,
because these things keep popping in.
Yeah, man.
So, it's not even 2-part. Well, it is a 2-part. So let's take you back in time.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back in time. So if you could speak to your younger self.
Yeah.
1, what would you change?
Okay.
If anything.
Yeah.
And 2, so what would you change?
Yeah.
And 2, what would you tell yourself?
Okay, I love this question because you're not going to believe it. Me and our mutual friend who does a meditation.
Yes.
We were talking about this today.
Okay.
It's mad how you brought that up. Right. We were sat under a tree, shoes off, grounding ourselves.
Yes.
For grounding, right? I'd never change nothing. Right. Yeah. Only because of where I am now. And I never understood that.
You see, I often ask that question because I've been asked the question many times and I say similar, I'm saying the same as you.
Yeah.
Because mine will always bring me back to my children.
Okay.
My path will always lead me to my children.
Wow.
All the different paths that I've taken, the good, the bad, they always lead me to my children. So therefore I can't change anything because they wouldn't lead me to my children.
So this is exactly this is the understanding I've come to now, because all the mistakes I made,
then we won't be here.
Exactly. We won't be doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like you, right? I'm not here to become rich. I'm not here to become famous, right? If I can help one person, that's all I'm bothered, because I never had this growing up.
Yeah.
There was nothing like this. And
that's the problem you have with people and success.
Yeah.
They want instant success. And I think in the work that you do, what you're going to be doing and the work that I do, it may be 5 years, 10 years down the line when you've been successful with that person and you might never see them or hear from them.
Exactly. And you know what it is? It's like, I've started to realize now that if you take away the materialistic side of life, don't put a monetary value on things will start happening. And I'll tell you something now, right? In the last, what are we on now? July? in the last 7 months, Carl, my life has changed
Dramatically.
so. I got a credit card the other day, first time in 20 years. My credit is bad.
Yeah.
I got sent a credit card the other day. Right?
Send it back.
No, I've kept it, but I'm very sensible. With it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking to my mate. Is this my best mate, and this and he says, you know, the old you would have been straight out,
straight out Budweiser's.
Yeah, straight spent it on whatever, squandered it.
Okay.
Now I'm kind of looking at this as like, oh, if I need it for a bit of fuel, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm building my credit up now. I've got a job I'm teaching and training adults.
Okay.
Right, in telecoms. Yeah. I'm starting to build a relationship with my kids that I never had before. Me and my missus now, she actually happy to see me. Does that make sense?
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
So I drive a little Fiesta, yeah. I love it. Cost me 150 quid, right? I gave a van and 150 quid for it, right? You know, people take the mick out of me, you know, just joking and stuff like that. I love it, me, yeah. I don't worry about, you know, I ain't got a big house. I don't wear designer clothes. I'm going to get this from Primark, yeah. Stuff like that. Because Sonny in addiction and Sonny growing up was always trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I'm looking at family members who had the money to buy clothes, were driving the nice cars, friends that had the money to buy nice. And I'm trying to do that. So I'm trying to wear nice clothes and not having enough money for her to feed the kids. Because I'm...
Put it in perspective.
You know what I mean? So now I'm happy with what I've got. And I thankfully now have realized that wealth is measured not by what you've got, is what you feel in here and what you see out there within your family. So look, everybody would like a brand new car, everyone would like a brand new house, everybody wants designer clothes. I've got friends, right, who have all that, and they've even said to me, we're not happy. You know, some might want to still get married, some want to have kids, you know, some would bring their parents back.
Yeah.
If they could give up that money that they've worked hard for or whatever for their parents, they'd do it. So, and I'll tell you one thing as well, what I've been told, and I never ever thought, someone said to me, you're blessed. And I went, what do you mean? They went, Sonny, man, you've got 5 kids, you've got a missus that stuck by you, and you're here breathing. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So, you know, I speak to my kids now. My son's 17, my daughter's 19, right? And then I've got a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So they're still a little bit young, but these two, I concentrate on them. And I always tell them, don't worry about what you see on TV. Don't worry about this and that and the other. Yeah? Use me as an example. I said, you know, this is me telling you, don't spend your money this way. Watch me saying to you, look, you know, going out, spending my last bit of money and then having a go at her for spending 40 quid on food. Why have you spent 40 quid at Morrison's today? What do you mean we needed that? We didn't need that. But then I've spent 200, 300 quid in the pub. That's what kind of person I was. And I use that. I'm truthful with my kids now. They know that I use substance. They knew I used cocaine. And I never ever thought I'd tell my kids that. But I tell them because I want them to not listen to a guy who is just telling them as a dad. I'm telling them as a guy I've lived it. I've squandered everything. I've lost people. My own friends in my community distanced themselves away from me when I was actively, you know, even though we share a bond, they didn't want to be around me. So that makes, you know, like now it's different. It's all like thinking. And what I would say to anybody out there, and you know, if you are struggling and you think you know, you have functional alcoholics or you have functioning addicts which can drink and do whatever they want and they still get up for work and they do whatever. Yeah, that's what you call a functioning alcoholic or a functional addict. Or you get an addict that's just goes, you know, wants everything, blackout. That's what I was. Enough, you know. There's something that I've learned on through the AA. and I've heard it so many times. I've heard it in AA meetings and I've heard it online. One drink is too much and 1,000 drinks is not enough.
Yeah.
And that's where I live.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
I live there, right? So I say to my kids, and I say to anybody listening out there, if you are struggling, and when I say this, it's taking a toll on your life. It's affecting your relationship with your kids. It's affecting your relationship with your partner. And I'm not just saying men, because women, women have unfortunately been struck with this illness, and it's a recognized illness.
Yeah.
It's actually been documented as an illness, right? So it's not now something that's just an old wives' tale. This is documented now. They're investing money into it now, right? We're doing research. You've got these people, I'm learning this 12 steps. You've got, he's an alcoholic addict. He's teaching me it for me to teach it. The work is being done.
I think you are building quite a community now.
Yeah.
And I think where some people used to hide away from it, a lot more people are coming out and saying, look, I am an addict.
Yeah.
So I have one more question.
Yeah, of course.
So my last question to you is, what advice
would I give myself?
Would you give your younger self?
Don't judge what's going on around you. Don't just assume it looks like that people are having a good time and stuff like that. That's how you're going to achieve a good time. Because the reason I say that is because all the good times that I've seen in the past has been around alcohol. The laughs, I'm talking belly laughs.
Yeah.
I'm talking hugs and
the food, wedding, birthdays, celebrations.
If I tell you now, I can have a laugh like that with my sober friends, and I'm better without having no substances. And that's what I would tell that's the one bit of advice I'd give myself, because I never thought I could be fun without alcohol. I was always Sonny the Joker. If I went to a pub, I was the life and soul. I was the loudest guy in the pub. I was always, Mr. Suave and try to be, I always I wanted, I needed you to tell me I was good.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the whole phrase of it, but validation. I needed validation from you.
Do you know, Phil, or previously did, he said there was always that part of his brain that wanted the attention.
Yeah. All the time. You know what it is? It's like now, believe it or not, when people say to me, well done, I don't take it on board.
Yeah.
I don't listen to it.
Is that because the journey's not finished yet?
My journey's never going to be finished.
Yeah.
I am never sober for the rest of my life. I have to wake up every morning and I have to remind myself why I'm doing this. I have to do my affirmations and I have to trust the process what I'm on. I can't be complacent, Carl, because if I become complacent, one thing
it can start
could knock me back over. Yeah. So yes, I might be 3 years, 6 months and a few days, yeah? So 3 years and 6 months on the 3rd of July. I'm 1 day. I always class myself as being 24 hours sober because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I've learned that from my family, my sober family, sorry. And so anybody out there who thinks that, just stopping drinking and stuff like that, there's so much. And what I would say to anybody struggling, reach out to a recovery meeting. I'm not affiliated to any meetings and I won't promote any meetings, but what I will say is go on the website.
Well, what we'll do is we'll plug all this.
Perfect.
So you have your final question.
Yeah.
So you have the question now. So you get the opportunity to ask me a question.
Okay.
This is where I get uncomfortable.
No. So basically, from what I know where you were and where you are now, right? First of all, I want to congratulate you, and this isn't just me, because I'm in front of you.
Yeah.
It stands big, it looks like it stands kind of thing. This is me genuinely asking. You are touching on subjects which are very sore,
Yeah.
you know, are very, because of the community and people that we are associated to, yeah. Did that cross your mind that people were going to start saying, why are you mentioning this, or why are you mentioning that, in regards to, like, you know, so we're talking about staying away from drugs, staying away from knife crimes and stuff like that. I grew up around that kind of thing and stuff, and I'm only asking this question because I've done this myself now. Do you feel that do you feel that it was a hard journey to do what you've done? In regards to, were you scared people like losing respect for you? Or?
No, do you know what it? No, I mean,
I hope I've asked that in the correct way.
I think I know what you mean. I think because of a previous lifestyle that I've lived, was it hard for me to transition? That's
right. Sorry. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So
that's why he's got the channel.
No, it wasn't for me.
Okay.
Look, I've always been a person. My mum will verify this.
Yeah.
If I say no, I mean no.
Wow. Okay.
Like, and I'll stand on it.
Perfect.
And for me, excuse me, I think for me, one of the key things for me was, which everybody that watched channel will know, it was a letter from my mum that changed me whilst sat in prison.
God bless me.
And I said from then, I'm done. And when I say I'm done, I mean it.
Wow.
And that what it was. However, I didn't automatically go into this type of work. I owned some shops, some sandwich shops, then I got some cash converters, tattoo shop. But that empty feeling is what I continuously had.
Wow.
I had an empty feeling, and I went and volunteered for one of my very, very good friends. Is no longer here. His wife. She was running an alternate provision. Wow. So I went and volunteered.
Okay.
Then I went and volunteered at another organisation, and that was where and then is where, you know, when people say you found your niche, that's when I found my niche. And I think from the organisation, for us as an organisation going forward, as a charity, but as a lived experience organisation, is where we're able to educate and deglamorize all these myths that these young people are seeing. And
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? Because I just think it's like I said to you earlier, before we started the interview. I said to you, I'm never going to bring anybody on who's going to go, yeah, I did that to this man and I did that to that man and this is how much money I made and I did this and I did. Because if I'm honest with you, you're never going to impress me with that.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm going to look at you and go,
yeah, come on.
So I'd rather, like I've been on other podcasts where they've tried to drag that kind of thing out of me, and I've refused to do it. I've just stuck to the gun. So
I love that, because what you just said then, and I said this to somebody else. I said, so there's a lady. I don't know if it was the live that you came on to. It was a lady called Sarah who was on my live.
Yes, I think.
South Yorkshire. She has a very strong Yorkshire accent. She wants to get into helping people because she's helped a couple of people. And what you just said then, and I said the same thing to Sarah, I said, you know, us as people that have lived through it and seen the other side, in my belief, this is my belief, right? We make the best people, because I had a counsellor, so I'll just quickly say, I had a counsellor when I was going through my thing, and I said to this, and she was a lovely lady, I'm not taking nothing away from her, and I asked her a simple question. Have you ever been through what I've been through? And you know what she said? I've never been asked that before. And she went, and I said, can I respectively say, I don't want to go ahead with this. I think you're fantastic in what you do. But I said, I can't. Yeah. And she went, you know what? Wow. She went, that's me. I said, because how can I listen to somebody tell me something when they haven't lived it themselves? Yeah. And that's what I like about it.
And that's the value of lived experience. Like for us, when you're talking lived experience from either being in prison or gang affiliation or knife crime, gun crime, you know, drugs or whatever it might be. I think what people don't understand is it's easier because these young people will gravitate to us because of that lifestyle, which then gives us the opportunity to go, hold on. We get the easier chance to get a grip of them then. So that's kind of the angle that we come at.
Perfect. And I was that person, by the way. Sorry. And I mentioned it earlier on. I was that person that tried to be like that. So I had some relatives who were very, they were, yeah. Now, and I used to be like, oh, well, bouncing around like it were me. Yeah. And then I'd knock around with a few lads that were quite handy, and I'm trying to do what they're trying to do. And, it's all fake. And I'm trying to be the loudest one. I'm trying to be the, making the biggest point. And I'll tell you something now, I probably walked away scathed more the times than I've given hiding. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I've probably got an hiding more than I've ever thrown a punch. So I completely respect that, because this is important as well for the youth. And that's why I like what you're doing. It's like, let's break that stigma now. Let's forget about, be ourselves. Now why I'm smiling, because I can be myself. This is not fake now. I don't have to pretend to be, oh God, I hope that guy don't look at me, but I now have to act like I'm hard, because I don't want him to think that I'm softer than what I need to be.
I think what a lot of it is based on what we see around us as well. It's based on TV. It's based on how certain people believe they need to act around, because you can't show weakness. And there's of a generation of males where you wasn't allowed to cry, you was a girl, and you was left with a stigma. And that's why you'll find a lot of people at the old generation have been diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, childhood traumas, and a lot of people have that. And again, a lot of people now, it's actually harming them more because they've lived 30, 40 years with it.
I've just been diagnosed this year.
Yeah, and they've never had the opportunity to be diagnosed. Well, before we finish, I'd like you to face that camera there, far side. If you face that camera and let people know where they can find you.
All right, so TikTok, I will be on TikTok as Don't Bottle It Up Leeds. You can find me on Instagram at Don't Bottle It Up Leeds. And just them two platforms at the moment. I will also if you do go on my TikTok, I do constantly have links to like other organizations. So just them two platforms.
And if anybody ever wants to reach out to you, they can reach out to you through that as well.
Yeah, you can message me on TikTok. I just wanted to one thing on that note there. Please don't think I'm a professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor or anything like that. My group is for inspirational purposes, but what I will do is guide you in the right direction. So just so that people don't get that confused, and I think that's very important.
No, well, Sonny, listen, thank you for coming. It's actually been a pleasure.
I'll tell you something now. I was honoured for asking, man. So thank you very much.
No, not a problem. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much, top man.